Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you are new here, I am Daniel with Caldwell Country Outdoors, and today we're going to be breaking down my top 10 kayak bass fishing tips to help you catch more fish and have more fun in the water. Kayak fishing is one of the most affordable and exciting ways to chase bass, but it does come with its own set of challenges. So if you're just getting started, or even if you've been doing it for a while, these tips are going to help you level up. So let's get into it. Not all kayaks are created equal. You want to look for something stable, especially if you plan on standing up and fishing. A wider kayak with a good seat and a lot of storage space makes those long days on the water a lot more comfortable. Stability equals confidence, and confidence equals more fish in the boat. I currently use the Pelican Strike 100 NXT and the Sun Dolphin Marquette 10. These are both small, agile kayaks, and while they are perfectly serviceable and they do work, they're not the most stable kayaks in the world. As a matter of fact, they're so unstable, I actually added outriggers to the Sun Dolphin to help with that. Also, their tracking does leave a little bit to be desired. That being said though, you can fish from any kayak. So if you already have one, get out there and give it a shot. If you don't have a kayak though, and you're looking to maybe try your hand at kayak fishing, my advice to you would be to research. If I'm being honest, I wish I'd done a little bit more research when I bought my kayak. This video isn't about kayak shopping or choosing the right one, but a few things that can help with that decision making are: number one, weight capacity. It is recommended that you should be at 80% of the listed weight capacity, and then subtract your weight and the weight of the gear to make sure it's the right fit for you. Next thing you want to consider is, how do you want to propel your kayak? Pedal drive? Paddle? Do you want to add a motor? Do you want to do all three? Well, next, do you want to stand up and fish? Width and stability are going to be very important if you do. And lastly, if you have the ability to test them out before you buy, that is the best case scenario. One of the biggest mistakes that beginners make when they start kayak fishing is, frankly, they bring too much stuff. You don't need 10 rods and a tackle shop worth of lures. Pick 2 or 3 rods and a small tackle box with all of your confidence baits. The more clutter you have, the more stuff you'll snag, drop, or lose. Fishing gear is expensive, and I assume you don't want to see it at the bottom of the lake or river just because you overloaded your kayak. As some of you may have seen in a previous video, I've actually created a small and very useful crate for kayak fishing and would recommend carrying something similar. But simplicity here is the key. As for the rods and reels, I usually carry 3 rods at most. And I'm currently trying out some expandable options to help with tight spaces. So I have a telescoping spinning reel, telescoping casting reel, and also I carry my small telescopic lightweight ultralight reel, rod and reel combo for smaller fishing. Boat control is very important with any kind of fishing, but when you're kayak fishing, it's even more important. You want to use your paddle or your pedal drive to quietly position yourself upwind or up current of your casting target. Let the wind or the current push you into your casting zone instead of fighting against it. This keeps you stealthy and, quite frankly, helps you save energy so that you can stay on the water longer. When you're fishing out of a kayak, you're very low to the water, you're quiet, and you can be sneaky. Use those things to your advantage. You want to avoid things like banging your paddle on the kayak, slapping the water, or dropping your pliers into the hard plastic of the bottom of your kayak. Bass, especially in shallow water, spook very easily, and kayaks give you a huge edge when it comes to getting close without blowing out a spot, provided you're careful and not making any unnecessary noise. kayaks really shine around banks, laydowns, docks, and shallow cover. You can get into those places that the big boats can't. Work the edges, you can fish tight to cover, you can pick apart those little pockets that most anglers are forced to pass by. Look, I know this is not the most exciting tip out there, but it is definitely the most important. Always, always, always wear your life jacket. Conditions out there can change fast, and it only takes one bad move to end a day early. Plus, staying safe means you get to fish another day. I currently am using a Stearns fishing life vest that I got at Walmart. It can be beneficial to get a fishing specific life vest. They can be very handy. They usually have a lot of pockets for things like pliers, etc. And they also have rings that you can tie things to avoid them going into the water. Additionally, I'm currently in the market for an inflatable life vest to wear when it's a bit hotter outside. So if you have any recommendations out there, put them down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on those inflatable life vests. A successful fishing trip means that you get to have another one in the future. One of the easiest ways to make sure that happens is to always wear your life vest. I learned very quickly when I started kayak fishing that wind and current can make fishing out of a kayak incredibly frustrating. A small anchor or a stakeout pole lets you hold position when you're fishing a productive spot. This is clutch when you find a nice brush pile or a dock or a point that's holding fish. When it comes to anchors though, you don't need a whole lot of weight, and there are a lot of very, very, very affordable anchor options out there that don't take up a lot of space and they're relatively lightweight. This next tip's a little bit similar to tip number 2, but it's about packing light but packing smartly. You want to make sure you bring your water, the snacks that you might need. You want to bring sunscreen, trust me. As a bald man who fishes out of a kayak, you definitely need sunscreen, and you want to bring your pliers. It's very easy to forget the basics, especially on those long trips. A hydrated, comfortable angler is going to fish better. Trust me. Nothing kills the vibe like being hungry and sunburned halfway through your all-day fishing trip. Okay, so the bait companies aren't going to like me saying this one, but it doesn't make it any less true. You don't need every new lure that hits the shelves. What you want to do is you want to find a few baits that you trust, like a spinner bait, soft plastic, crankbait, topwater, jig, whatever. And you want to learn them, and you want to learn them very well. Confidence catches fish. The more comfortable you are with a lure, the better you're going to fish it. Now, that being said, I'm not saying you shouldn't try new things and experiment with new techniques, but your confidence baits are your confidence baits for a reason. They have caught fish for you in the past. So for me, my go-to baits are jointed crankbaits, inline or regular spinner baits, and as you probably already know if you've watched any of my other fishing videos before, I love me the wacky rigged Senko. Love it. Catches a lot of fish. This tip can be summarized very quickly by pay attention. All right, wind direction, water clarity, depth changes, and shade lines all matter. From a kayak, you're closer to the water, so you're going to be able to notice more. Use that to your advantage. Small details can often lead to big bites. My biggest kayak bass to date was caught right on the edge of deep water near a shallow weed line. Once I noticed that pattern, I was able to look for those same spots or types of areas, and I had one of the most successful days on the water I have ever had. Are those fish focused on weeds, rocks, shallow cover like laydowns, or fallen logs? Knowing the answers to those questions and paying attention to those little details are going to help you stay in the action. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and drop a comment with your favorite kayak fishing tip. And if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing to Caldwell Country Outdoors. Additionally, you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and X for behind the scenes content and updates as far as what's going on in my day-to-day. But anyway, that's going to do it for this particular video. I've got a lot more fishing, hunting, and outdoor content coming your way, so stay tuned. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. If you're getting ready to go to bed, you have a good night's sleep, and I hope to catch you all out in the water.